All right, guys. So day 28, I watched Mortuary, which is available now on Shudder, and it is an 80s horror movie that I have never seen. I heard about this movie just because it has Bill Paxton in it, which is really cool to see young Bill Paxton. Um, I really enjoyed most of the stuff that he was in or has been in, so I'm glad to see him in this. But the story of this is that these guys find that there's a person in town that's doing a seance, and then nobody believes him. While this main girl, Christine, is being watched by somebody. So, like, or watched by the people doing the seance, and they're thinking it's this person the whole movie, and it's really just that kind of build up to, is this person the one doing it? Like, and I like that. I thought that that plot was interesting. I think that it's definitely less of a movie that I expected in terms of like genre, because I thought it would be of subgenre. In terms of subgenre, I thought this would be more of a slasher than anything, and it's not really that. This is very, very weird. Like, I don't even know how to really describe this one. It, like, in terms of a subgenre, but I liked how the movie opened. I liked how it had a slow mo kill, but with really beautiful music. The music in this is really good, and I genuinely kind of remember the theme, and I liked that because it's just good surprise, a good genuine surprise in terms of the music for this movie. Um, and like I said, the opening is a person getting killed, but like it is beautiful with the music, and it reminded me of an Italian horror movie because it had that beautiful music versus like a violent thing happening, and I thought that really was cool, and I thought that was fascinating. Um, I liked how the main girl, Christine, her father was killed. That's the person who's killed in the beginning of the movie, and I liked how it was an interesting story, even though it's a basic story of like trying to figure out what's going on, kind of thing. Um, but the thing I've got to give this movie, and I've already said it already, but the biggest compliment I'm going to give on this movie is Bill Paxton. I was genuinely surprised how much of a role he had and how great of a role he had. And this is definitely the best thing about the movie. And the movie I thought was fine. Like, it wasn't anything super special, but it was fine. It was just a horror movie from the 80s. But it was fine. And but Bill Paxton is the best thing about this movie. I thought that this really shows how great of an actor Bill Paxton is. And even in a movie like this, where, and I'm not trying to downgrade like horror because I love horror, but like people in the grand scheme of movies don't look at horror as like, oh, this is a great movie because of blah blah blah. Like, usually horror movies like that are lower budget, or movies that are exploitive horror usually don't get any recognition, but I feel like there's some things in these movies that you can give recognition to, and I feel like this one had a great use of Bill Paxton, and I really genuinely thought what he did in the movie was really really good, and it was a really good performance, and I honestly kind of thought this movie reminded me a little bit of Frailty, with like, just in terms of Bill Paxton being in a different type of movie, because usually Bill Paxton movies I see him in, he's in like action movies. I know he's in other horror movies. I know he's in the first Terminator. I know that he's in Predator 2. But he's also in movies like Twister, like silly movies like that. And I liked that this movie just really felt like something like Frailty, in terms of like Bill Paxton doing a serious horror movie for the most part. This movie isn't as serious as Frailty, definitely not. It definitely has a lot of goofy moments to it, but that adds to the charm of being in the 80s, and that makes it kind of more watchable. If it was played more straight, I would have been a little more bored with this one, but Bill Paxton's role is really over the top and ridiculous in a good way, and I liked how fun it was. And it's just so cool to find more stuff with Bill Paxton since he's been gone for a couple of years. I think it's been, well, no, it might have been like, it's been like 5 years, I think. 2017, I think, is when he passed. But it's just such a cool thing whenever you find And you know, it feels great to watch a movie. It's weird to say this. It's great to watch a movie where a person you know has passed away, and then you see the greatness that they've brought into the world. Like, even though they're gone, their legacy and impact still lives on. And I think it still is sad that he's gone. And I love that you find these movies that like this one where I was like, wow, I was genuinely surprised at how great a performance he was, and I just really enjoyed that. So I'm glad to see that. Um, but overall, the movie is just okay. But I think that he's easily the best part of the movie. I think that the movie is got a basic story, but I think that the story is interesting enough. Like, it was not what I expected. I expected it to be like a straight up slasher, and it's not really that. But I had an okay fun time. Like I said, some good things about it. It's not great, but it's whatever, middle of the road. Like a lot of these movies I've watched this month, middle of the road. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. So that's it for today for day 28, Mortuary. Um, I don't remember what I've got tomorrow, but we'll see tomorrow. I'll have it uploaded anyways. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.